In 1991, two hikers stumbled upon something extraordinary in the Alps, a frozen body, perfectly preserved in ice. At first, it seemed like a tragic accident, until scientists realized this man died over 5,000 years ago. He would come to be known as Ötzi, the Iceman. His body offered a rare window into the past, but what he carried was just as important. Among his tools was a bow, and on that bow, a simple knot. A knot that had survived 5 millennia of snow, stone, and silence. Crude, but clever. Simple, but strong. That knot whispered a story older than history itself. Knots, you see, are older than writing, older than wheels. Even some animals, like orangutans, have been seen tying loops in ropes. But for humans, knots weren't just useful, they were vital. From early shelters to hunting traps, rope and knots were the invisible tech that held everything together. In ancient Egypt, knots symbolized life and eternity. They tied spells, jewelry, even the straps of sacred tombs. In China and the Andes, intricate knots told stories, counted taxes, and recorded memory. Without knots, there would be no bows, no sails, no fishing nets, no climbing ropes, no bridges. Knots aren't just tools. They're our first engineering. Let's talk about 3 of the oldest known knots. First, the overhand knot. It's one of the simplest knots, and it appears in almost every culture. A single twist of rope, pulled tight, fast, efficient, and surprisingly strong. Second, the loop knot, essential for carrying, pulling, or attaching objects. Ancient travelers used it to tie bundles or haul game. Third, the slip knot. This clever design lets you tighten or release with one pull. It was used in traps, animal snares, and even primitive surgery. In a world with no screws or zippers, knots were the fasteners of civilization. Think about this. A single knot may have decided whether your shelter held in the wind, or whether you lost your meal, your tools, or your life. And yet, these ancient knots still live today, barely changed. We now have over 4,000 known knots used in sailing, climbing, surgery, and art. But many of them are just elegant evolutions of the ones tied thousands of years ago. That ancient knot found with Ötzi, it wasn't fancy, it wasn't famous. But it still held together after 5,000 years in the ice. And maybe that's the most powerful thing about knots. They connect. Not just rope to wood or bag to belt, but people to their past, to each other, and to the long, unbroken thread of human survival. A small loop that still holds the weight of history.